Okay, everybody, last but not least, we have to solve the systems of equations. So if you remember back to when we did quadratics, solving a system of equation means you're going to graph the one, you're going to graph the other, you're going to see where they intersect, and then wherever they intersect is your solution. Now, if we're dealing with circles and lines, which is typically what we're going to be dealing with here, we can throw in a quadratic, but I specifically want to look at circles and lines. Let's think about what can happen. If I have a circle and I have a line, we could have two intersections. Okay, or we could have two answers. If I have a circle and I have a line, we could have one. Okay, now specifically, if you're having one, what is that line called to that circle? And I hope you're thinking tangent. Okay, so that's a tangent line. This line over here, this is a secant line, okay, because it goes through. And then we can have a circle, and we can have a line, and that would be none. Okay, or no solution. So as we're going through these and as we're solving these, you can have two answers, you can have one answer, or you can have no answer. No answer would just be written as no solutions. One solution, you're going to write it as an x comma y, okay, and then two solutions you're going to write as an x comma y, and you're going to write as an x comma y. You're going to have two of them. Now we can solve these by hand, but honestly it gets kind of laborsome, so that the easiest way to do that is we're going to use our calculator. The one I'm going to use is actually the one that I had you download, that way I can show you what's going on. And I think I'm going to do this two ways. I'm going to run through it the first time using the CAS. Okay, and then for those of you who are on a Chromebook or don't have the CAS, why don't you just close this right now, because I'm going to show you how to do it on Desmos as well. Or if you can't get your CAS to work, I'll also show you how to do it on Desmos, which is just a computer program, and any of you can do it. Okay, so clear out whatever you're doing, go to the on screen, we're going to get a new document, we're going to add a graph. Okay, now the first one we have is x squared plus y squared equals 1. Well, in order to graph that, you can't graph it right here because f1 of x means y equals. That's a function. I don't want to graph a function, I want to graph a circle. So we need to go get a circle. So you're going to hit menu, you're going to go to graph entry, and if you look at number 1, that's a function. Well, I don't want to graph a function. I actually kind of want to graph a relation, but more specifically, an equation template. And notice they have an equation template for a circle. Okay, now they've got a center form, which is the form we're given, and then they also have standard form if we were given, and actually that's not standard form, that's general form. But anyways, we want the center form because we know the center and the radius, so we're going to pick that one. Now, x squared plus y squared means we've got x minus 0, and then y minus 0, and then our radius is 1 squared, because 1 squared is just 1. And then you're going to hit enter. Enter. And there's your circle. It's a 0, 0 with a radius of 1. Now, if you want to graph your other one, you're going to hit tab, which is over here on the left. So hit tab. And notice it's going to put that circle back up there. Well, I don't want a circle this time. I want the second equation, which is an actual function. So you're going to hit menu. You're going to go to your graph entry. And this time you want to go back to a normal function, which is y equals. In order to get that fraction, I'm going to hit Control Divide. I'm going to type x plus 1 over 2, and then I'm going to hit Enter. And there, if you're looking at your picture, this one actually has two intersections, and we have to go find them both. So, Menu, Analyze, Intersect, and then we got to be careful. Okay, typically we get like a little line thing that we kind of drag to the left and drag to the right. Well, when you're dealing with a template like a circle and you don't have a function anymore, you get this little dot. And that little dot's going to create a box. So let's say I want this intersection. Don't put your dot there. Bring your dot over here. Click it, and notice how you get a box. Okay, it finds the intersection for you. Don't drag too far, it'll find the other one, which is fine, but we just want this one for right now. So you kind of drag that gray box so that your intersection is in the middle, click it, and you just found your first intersection and negative 1, 0. So if I kind of come back to my paper over here, answer number 1, negative 1, 0. Okay, back to my calculator. I have to find the second intersection. So menu, analyze, intersection. This time I'm going to bring my dot kind of over to this side and drag it this way just to get that intersection. 0.6 comma 0.8. And you would have 2 solutions. Okay, let's try that again. Solve the system of equations. I'm going to try again. If you just want a new page, hit Control Dock, which is the plus page, and then it'll just let you pick a graph. And then if you kind of look up here at the top, you've got the old one, just in case, and then you've got the new one, so you don't have to erase anything. Okay, x squared plus y squared equals 2. So, menu, entry, equation template, circle. Now, this time, I'm kind of wondering what would happen if I put standard form there, but I think that's got too many variables. You've got a bx, you've got a cy, you've got a d, it has to equal 0. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go here. So, once again, x minus 0, y minus 0, and then here we're going to have a little problem because it's r squared, and we were given a 2. So if we want r squared, or we just want r, keep in mind over here you actually have to take the square root, so r is really the square root of 2. So when we go put that in our calculator, control square root 2 squared is actually 2. So don't screw that up. Enter, and there's our circle. Now we're going to hit tab. We don't want another circle, so menu, entry, back to a regular function, which I guess we could type the function first and then change it. It's up to you. Negative x plus 2. And where did my thingy go? Oh, I didn't put a plus, I put an enter. Negative x plus 2 gets me that. So looking at that, that looks kind of tangent to me. I'm guessing that's only one intersection. So menu, analyze, intersect, drag. Yeah, even if I keep getting bigger, it looks like it's only got one intersection there. Drag that out of the way. 1, 1. So solution, 1, 1. And that one only has one solution. Last but not least, solve the system. So let's try that trick again. Control, add a page. We're going to add a graph. So once again, there's your first one, there's your second one, there's your third one, just in case you want to go back and reference it. So on this one, instead of changing our template, why don't we switch it up a little bit? We'll do the line first. So y equals, I'm going to do control divide. I'm going to put x plus 6 over 2, and there's my line. Hit your tab button. Now I want to graph my circle. So menu, entry, template, circle, x minus 1, y minus 0, and then 4 is really 2 squared. Okay? Make sure you're putting in 2 squared, because 2 squared is really 4. Enter. What do you notice? They don't touch at all. So back here, oops, no solution.